It's fine. This week has been totally fine. I had a dream last night that Chris and I took edibles and changed the space and time continuum for a D&D game. Everything's super awesome. Very normal week. Very totally normal week.
I mean, I generally take an edible before D&D anyway, so I mean, yeah, I get it.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, The Phantom Menace. This is usually part of the podcast where I ask everybody how their watches went, but this week...
I'm just going to say it. This week's watch was great.
It was great, because this week we didn't watch Phantom Menace. In fact, we are about to watch Phantom Menace together with you right now. We are all paused. Actually, I'm not paused at 00, apparently.
Jay's already starting the movie.
If
I was paused at 01.
If you've ever wondered what it would be like to sit in a room with us and watch Star Wars, you're about to find out, and I'm sure you're about to be disappointed.
We've never all sat in a room together and watched Star Wars, so I'm fucking excited.
No, Jay and I did a couple of watches here and there together, but like I think we only did that like twice.
I think 3 times, but maybe all three of those were the best watches I've ever had.
Yeah.
So, all right, queue up whatever version of your. I'm watching the Blu-ray version. They're watching the Disney Plus version, which there's no discernible difference between the two. Except in episode 4, McClunky. So.
No, I think the Blu-ray should still have McClunky.
I think the current, newer iteration of the Blu-rays, yes, I believe they include McClunky.
What is Ben getting?
Ben's getting paper towels flown in.
What did you spill?
Nothing.
Okay. So we are all at 000. Be prepared. This is going to be a long episode, and we're not cutting anything out, so there's going to be silences and shit.
I do not blame anyone who skips out on this rotation.
I don't believe there will be any silences. We're just going to be talking incessantly.
Yeah, we're going to want to drown out this movie as
listen,
as possible.
This is not a typical watch, so here's your warning for this entire rotation. This is one that's going to be fun if you want to sit down and watch the movies along with us. For some reason, this will be the one to do that for. Yeah. This is not your normal episode of the podcast you're going to want to just sit down and listen to, though. So
it is your chance to share a brain with us during a rotation just once. So we're at 000. I'll count us down. Something that these guys are entirely unfamiliar with me doing, but I'll do it for the sake of the fans. 5, 4.
Hold on. My cursor's not working. The batteries in my mouse died.
3.8.
Shit.
3.7.
I think Chris is just trying to put off
I got it.
as much as possible.
I'm ready. I got this.
3, 2, go on 1. 1.
Chris does a speed fucking battery reload.
Just reloaded my fucking mouse batteries like I was in the goddamn trenches. Just I gotta get to Star Wars.
Do you want to know how fucked up nostalgia is? I mentioned on the podcast at one point I tried to make ultimate cuts of the movies when I was in my early 20s because I was bored as shit. I put the 20th century intros in front of episode 7, which was the only one that was out at that time.
Christ.
Nostalgia is bullshit. There's nothing nostalgic about 20th Century Fox being at the front. There's nothing nostalgic about that.
Oh, you're right.
Oh no!
I'm not gonna
do it.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna break my rule for this rotation.
Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic.
For those
taxation of trade routes.
For those listening at home, I have a rule generally that if I'm watching these movies with people, I have to do a really shitty Scottish accent for the.
It's bad.
It makes me laugh. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in early episodes of the podcast, but I always love this opening crawl because it's people coming off the the trailers and stuff. They're like, oh, there's we're gonna see more Jedi and all this action, and the crawl is like people are just like the taxation of trade
routes.
What the fuck is
What do you mean
Congress
the
of
taxation
the
of trade
Republic?
routes? Yeah, putting yourself in the shoes of OT fans that are a little older than us, just like, what do you mean the taxation of trade routes is really fun.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck am I about to watch? And then you're getting a lot of like political shit. It's like, what's going on? I just wanted to watch people hit each other with space swords.
I mean, if it was good political intrigue, I'd be here for it.
It is, in fact, not.
It's a funny looking ship.
Like I've said before,
that's a funny looking ship.
I like that ship. It's just the Alderaan ship, except it's just the Alderanian ship, except with a different coat of paint.
A captain old enough to drive?
I don't think so.
They look like they're like 12.
I also love that they have this big ass ship to just get 2 Jedi there. Like,
yeah.
At least they got a flat screen TV.
Listen, they have a lot of boxes of Depends in the back for Qui-Gon. It's like...
I hate this part of the movie because every time this ship comes into this, it feels like Vietnam War flashbacks, because it's like, oh no, we are entering another rotation every time I watch it. Like, it's the physical embodiment of like, oh fuck, here we go again.
So the nightmare begins again.
What's the Castlevania 2 warning prompt? I can't remember.
I don't know. I haven't played the Castlevanias yet. Those are on my list.
It's a terrible night for Star Wars. I think it's a terrible night for a curse. It's a terrible night for Star Wars.
If I'm timing this correctly, the edibles are probably going to kick in right around Auto Gunga, and that's my absolute nightmare.
Best possible timeline.
Yeah. Qui-Gon in this scene is just like so unself-aware. Like, it's like he's purposely trying. He doesn't let off Jedi Master vibes. He lets off that guy you knew in high school that is really into Buddha without being a Buddhist. Just like, nah, everything's gonna be fine. You just have to believe in the vibes.
He's very much the white guy into Asian mysticism.
I mean, that's just Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars is white guys into...
Sprinkle in a couple of racial stereotypes.
Oh, God, yeah, speaking of... I'm pretty sure I could quote every line in this movie at this point.
What is supposed to be on this tray? Is that supposed to be like a thermos or something? Why is it so phallic?
You know what? I've never noticed that before, but the way it just like comes in and then curves outward at the top.
The way it's got that
very
bubble at the top, yeah.
Not Palpatine is here. Definitely not. I still have so much respect for Ian McDiarmid, even though everybody knew that he was Sidious. He was the Emperor. Just like, no, I'm playing Emperor. I'm playing Senator Palpatine. I'm playing Chancellor Palpatine, leader of the Republic. And they're like, what about when you turn to the dark side? I'm like, I don't understand what you mean by that.
You can't fool me. I recognize that cleft chin anywhere.
It's like the anti-Tom Holland.
The Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, if you...
Ian McDiarmid was playing werewolf with the audience way before Andrew Garfield was, except he was even less believable.
Be a fun game of how many times I fill my vape up while we sit here watching this fucking movie.
Dioxys. God, it's hard to watch.
I like how it's been like 2 seconds. He's like, yep, they're definitely dead by now.
Yeah, that's enough time.
Motherfucker, I could hold my breath that long.
And it's not like, well, I guess this is EU, but it's not like he's not used to dealing with Jedi, because in the EU, he already had Jedi bodyguards during the Stark Hyperspace War.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember this because it's the one Star Wars comic that I still own, because I don't own any of my childhood comics anymore, except like the first issue from the Clone Saga of Spider-Man, and like this comic, and it had a Wookiee Jedi on the front, and I was like, I'm buying that. And I guess it was like a war over Bacta shortages, and the Nemoidians were on the side of the Senate, and he personally had Jedi bodyguards, including Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it's like, in this movie with that EU sense, it's like, why the fuck do you think they would die that easily? I mean, granted, the Wookiee does die in that scene protecting him, but... Because the Wookiee trained, Tavoka trained Plo Koon.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't even put that together.
And then
This is impossible,
Dooku...
he says, while he's literally doing the most logical thing with a fucking laser sword, and he's just cutting through metal. Like, I don't understand how this is happening.
Oh my god, we talked right over the super speed. Oh,
No, it's coming up. It's right here.
It's coming up.
Oh,
and Dooku trained the Wookiee trained Dooku. Ooh. Goddamn super speed.
One appearance of super speed in the Star Wars mainline franchise.
Never to be used again.
You know,
like, for as much shit as we give them, at least in the sequels, like, once Rey figures out force healing is a thing, it's used consistently.
Yeah.
Like...
That's even like Luke Skywalker does the same thing. He's like, I can force choke you in one scene. Never uses it again. Never once. I like young, smartass Obi-Wan Kenobi so much.
You know, I'm a big fan of, like, cloaks as, like, an aesthetic, and, like, you know, the big hoods and all that. Terribly impractical for the Jedi. They're just sitting here sneaking around and shit, and they're just like...
Start bringing it back.
Bring back cloaks?
Yeah.
I've said this to my wife, and she told me no.
Cloaks?
Like, no, I can just, like, wear a cloak, and she was, like, down the middle of the street in Nebraska. I was like, yeah, why not?
You're about to be a father.
Just in a cloak.
Your ass is about to be a father. Do you want to be cloaked dad? Do you want to be cloaked dad?
Yeah.
I would.
I walk into parent-teacher conferences, and I can just do, like, just furl it out behind me. Just bring the hood down, like, hello. It is I.
Communication down there. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I also love the, do you think she expects an attack? And Newt Gunray's just like, I don't know, but we gotta cut off all their communications. Then they won't be onto us at all.
Hold on, here comes Big Titty Palpatine.
Oh.
There he is.
Voluptuous.
They knew what they were doing when that happened. When they distorted that message just so his chest just bounces forward.
Not their trade franchise.
Not their trade franchise.
Not Space Amazon.
Kano Nemoidian Space Amazon.
Oh my god.
Oh no. We've discovered a dark truth today.
What's his name? What's the leader's name again?
Newt Gunray?
Is Newt Gunray just Space Jeff Bezos? Where's his phallic ship?
That's why he wants to go to space so bad.
I mean, yeah. Where's his phallic ship? Is there any phallic-looking ships in the Confederacy of Independent Systems?
I think Dooku's would be the closest when he has that
Dooku is Space Jeffrey Bezos.
Solar Sailor ship.
These speeders are pretty cool, but you know it would be really good for like the marshlands of Naboo. Just a big fucking wheel. A big fucking wheel.
Damn it! I don't want to talk about this wheel anymore. Not even on that movie. Cheap man's chopper. My God.
And now here's Qui-Gon just running. And here's horrible CGI Jar Jar.
I know Qui-Gon's just like flailing, like, get the fuck out of the way.
It's a pretty good character introduction, though, because it lets you know just right from the jump, like, hey, we're not working with a high level of intelligence here.
It gives you all the information you need right from the first shot.
George Lucas in the background. Yeah, you hate it because it's comedy relief and you need things to make sense as an adult. No, I just don't like this comedy relief specifically. Also, the racism.
This Jar Jar CGI is so bad.
Also, I like how Obi-Wan's just running from speeders.
You know what would have helped that? Force speed. You know, like they used, 10 minutes ago?
How many fucking cultures in Star Wars have life debts?
Have what? Life debts?
Life debts. And they're
all the ones that don't look like humans, and you know
like
exactly why.
Wookiees and Gungans, that's two just in the movies.
It's the racism, Ben. You just don't notice it as much with Chewie because he doesn't speak. And like Qui-Gon says, the ability to speak doesn't make you intelligent. Well, Chewie doesn't speak and he's smarter than everyone else in all of these movies. That man figured out how to cheat at chess. God, this CGI is so fucking bad.
It's so bad. Oh wait, we're about to get the fucking somersault.
It's about to get even better.
This shot was just to test if they could make Yoda work. I'm not looking forward to whenever they have Grogu use a fucking lightsaber or whatever the fuck he's gonna use, where it's just like him flying about. It's just like, I don't care.
I don't think we're gonna get that, honestly.
I think you will at some point.
I highly doubt it after.
I know what happens in that, and I still think you're gonna get it. Whether he's fucking wielding the Darksaber or whatever the fuck. Because I think they're probably gonna have Luke at some point just go, hey, maybe I fucked up. I'll train you and you can stay with your dad. Uh-oh. Chris is not doing well.
Oh, I'm doing great. No, I'm doing,
I'm doing great.
Doing just fine, but my prediction was pretty accurate.
That the edible kicked in right as we got to Autogunga? Law and Order Autogunga?
The CGI of them walking through the bubble.
Oh, be aware. Don't even watch the YouTube copy for things that are going to be in it. I'm not putting shit in this rotation in 2.5 hour movies. 2.5 hour recording session.
Movie?
2 hours, like 18.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're all long.
2-hour movie.
I've been watching older movies lately, and they all end at like 1:45, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so much better. Why didn't we pick shorter movies?
Could have picked like something, I don't know, like just like a cult classic 90s movie, you know.
Did you notice the cop using unnecessary force there? Jar Jar's just fucking standing there surrendered, and he's like, I'm gonna tase you anyway.
I'm sorry, I zoned out. Boss Nass was on
You
the
were
screen.
eating.
Ben just couldn't pry his eyes away from the beautiful form of Boss Nass sitting there.
While eating chicken. He's just staring at the screen and blinking and licking his lips.
Hard to tell if it's from the wings or Boss Nass.
I never noticed that before, just how unnecessary force that scene is. It's stuck in my head now. I don't think it's ever come up, just like Jar Jar standing there completely like not resisting arrest, and this guy's just like, I'm gonna fucking tase you with my taser spear.
Master, what's a bongo? And it's just, I don't know. It's just a, it's an instrument. You just, I don't know how that's going to get us to the planet core, but
The Force will guide us.
Master, what's a bongo? A bongo is this thing that you put down and you smoke through it. No, Master, that's a bong. I've seen you use that enough. Did you take edibles as well?
Oh my God, that's like during the recording of A New Hope, there were pictures, like promo pictures, taken, and the one is Mark Hamill next to one of the moisture evaporators, and he signs it biggest bong for sale, and he wrote a phone number down.
Oh, that's actually a trading card that he wrote a signature for. I think, other than the racism, the thing that bothers me most about Jar Jar is how he'll say something and then immediately go back on the thing he's saying. It happens like 6 times in this movie.
It's like consistent.
Wow, that's a CGI effect that didn't stand up.
Maybe Jar Jar has like a multiple personality disorder. He just says stuff and he's like, no, that's not right. I don't know where that came from. We're just.
I don't like this new canon that you've come up with.
It's why when they get him up to the Senate, he gets some therapy, he gets on some good meds, and then look at him, he's part of the Senate,
Jar Jar Binks in therapy. You know what, Disney Plus? That's another show for you. Jar Jar Binks' therapy.
Oh God, no, I'm gonna shut this one down.
No, you can't shut it down. It's out there now, Ben. It's out there. We're gonna get Jar Jar Binks the therapy that he needs.
Oh God.
Misa just feeling really worn down.
Jar
I
Jar,
need some major therapy if we follow through with this bit.
Jar Jar, now tell me what Boomdagasser means, because I know this is not actually a word in native Gungan. What does this word mean? Jar Jar, I'd like you to tell me about that day. What you use a mean that day? The day when you knocked over the cart, as you've told me. You don't remember starting a fist fight first? You don't remember that guy you killed, Jar Jar?
Jar Jar, where are the bodies?
It's like it's like Bullseye. It's like Bullseye's kid therapy in season 3 of Daredevil. Just like
Jar Jar, the families need closure. Where'd you put the bodies? We know what you did in Autogunga.
The therapist just like, it's not your fault. You just weren't raised right. Psychopathic tendencies written on paper as she talks. Misa got the new job. Oh, that's good to hear it. You need structure. What's your new job, Jar Jar? Senator. Oh no. Oh no.
I also love how Qui-Gon finds himself in like the worst situation. He'll be like, yeah, don't worry, the Force has got it.
It's because he's high all the time.
Qui-Gon is just coasting through the Jedi Order by this point, waiting to collect that pension. He's like, oh yeah, the Force or whatever, I don't care.
He's
Why
got
do
a
you think
really
Obi-Wan
cushy
drives?
He's got a really cushy library job lined up when he hits 70, and he's just kind of waiting for it.
Yeah. Obi-Wan drives because Qui-Gon's just gone right now.
That's also why he's in the back seat, because he can't be trusted to sit shotgun. Obi-Wan is that guy that will pull the emergency brake on you while you drive.
My God.
I love that Qui-Gon just like nerve pinches Jar Jar and puts him to sleep.
He does a fucking Vulcan neck bench.
Yeah. Oh, great. That's another thing that probably was wild to see for the first time in theaters. Oh, they used a Vulcan death pinch in fucking Star Wars.
I bet if you go back to the early internet on like chat forums, there were like basically what you see on Reddit now, just like Star Wars nerds having conspiracy theories of like, oh, it's connected. It's Star Trek and Star Wars are in the same universe. Here's all the evidence.
I mean,
It's just some dude's fan fiction that he wrote.
does make an appearance in a Star Trek movie.
No, stop it.
God damn it. We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring these conspiracies back.
We're not. I refuse. I refuse to even entertain Star Wars / Star Trek crossovers.
No, it's in one of the JJ.
I know this. I don't fucking care. God damn you, J.J. Abrams, you ruined my life.
The treaty. Remember that time when Germany invaded Poland and forced Poland to sign a treaty officiating their invasion?
It's one of those things where they want to have their cake and eat it too. It's like, yeah, we'll invade you and take over your entire planet, but we also don't want the Senate to be pissed off about it. Like, pick one.
Guys, see, the Queen asked us to invade.
It's getting too real life way too quick.
Oh yeah.
I'm just over here vibing. Those guys have really funny helmets that makes me so happy every time. I love the Naboo, like, guard uniforms.
They're the second best. The best is the Jedi Youngling giant bowl helmets.
They've just got these dumbass fucking helmets.
They look like Gungan metal helmets. Like, they look like they have, like, the fucking back ears to them.
They look almost like the Rebel helmets.
I feel like they ripped that off from another sci-fi franchise, but I can't remember what. This guy's evil fucking beard. Well, the hat's back.
Yeah, it's like, you know, and then the wizard gently ushers Padme through, or, you know, Queen Amidala through the doors. Look at this motherfucker.
This guy...
He looks like he cosplays as, like, Merlin at the fucking Ren Fair.
He looks like he will turn against them at any given point.
Yeah.
And he's trying to hold on to his long hair when his balding point is, like, in the back of his head.
Listen, I mean, we've all been there. You know, you're just like, and you're sitting there trying to decide, like, do I commit? Do I just go full Hulk Hogan, or do I shave it off? Like, what do I... Well, maybe not.
I've never quite seen the healthy hair versus hairline combination that he has, because his hair looks really good until you realize that he has the monk thing going on all the way into the back of his head. But yeah, I always thought that guy was evil, like, the entire time I was growing up.
Until you realize the only hair he has is holding on to nothing but hope.
Now it's hitting too close to home. Now
I'm really sorry, Chris. I'm really sorry. What the fuck was... We've said this on the podcast multiple times, as has everyone else on planet Earth, but what the fuck was the plan here?
I think this was the plan.
The plan was, Qui-Gon made the plan.
And then Obi-Wan realizing that he's just going to walk up and say, the plan is him just walk up and say the thing that he's going to do anyway, just like, all right, I will deal with the hostages, because you're going to get them killed.
That is hilarious in that context of thinking of it like that, where Obi-Wan's like, all right, I'll get the people out of here since you're going to go get us into a fight. This scene, judging by how we know Obi-Wan feels about droids in general, we've discussed this at length, it's hilarious. It really paints a picture of how little he thinks of Jar Jar when he puts him in this room with the droids and is just like, now stay here and stay out of trouble.
Gets better.
Obi-Wan canonically is a space racist.
No, it gets better, because, like, so this fucking book.
No,
Jar Jar legit murders a droid in this scene.
Is it like C-3PO levels of awesome?
He, like, accidentally rips off an R-Unit's head. Like...
That's dope. Now, Obi-Wan, canonically, the first time we see him, he refers to a tavern that's mostly filled with aliens as a wretched hive of scum and villainy. He thinks that droids aren't people, and he treats Jar Jar... I think he says we're about to pick up another pathetic life form in this movie. Like, he's a space racist.
Yeah.
1,000%. Royal Ship Flyer is another great character that we've never talked about.
Oh, I love him.
He's great. He does absolutely nothing, but every time he's on screen, he's just kind of like halfway into acting and then halfway tuned out. It's fantastic.
He gives Anakin like the whole 2 seconds of pilot training he ever gets in his life.
Have we been misappropriating Space Jesus to the wrong character?
Yes.
Is R2-D2 like the chosen one?
Yes.
Bear with me. R2-D2 in all of these movies is right at the center of the conflict. And without R2-D2, like if R2-D2 hadn't fixed that ship, well, they all die and everything goes to hell. And then the rest of the movies, it's like R2 is always at the very core of making sure that the mission goes the way it needs to go for things to happen. I think R2-D2 is the chosen one.
I think the only movie where he, in some way, shape, or form, doesn't change the plot for the better in a massive way is Last Jedi. Unless you count him showing the Leia hologram, which I don't.
There you go. I would count that.
Dude, that's like what convinced me.
So, Episode 1, he saves the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And saves Anakin's life by basically getting him through that. Episode 2... I mean, most of what he does in Episode 2 is saving C-3PO's ass. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't actually save Padme in that movie. He fails at saving Padme in that movie. Padme. No, Anakin does it. He's like, I feel like something's wrong. R2-D2 hasn't picked up, and R2-D2 did not pick up on the...
No, Padme was in the bucket that was about to get, like, filled with lava.
Oh, you're right. He does save Padme's life then, because he failed the first time. In Episode 3, he saves them all from Grievous multiple times on the ship. In Episode 4, he literally is the plot MacGuffin that gets the plans to the rebels. In Episode 5, what does he do in Episode 5? I feel like, he gets them off of Cloud City. In Episode 6, I know he does. Oh, he helps. Doesn't he help Chewie take over one of the AT-STs that would have fucked them up otherwise? No, you're right.
That's a pair of Ewoks with him.
Oh shit, we might have hit a wall. I don't know what R2-D2 does in Return of the Jedi.
He tries to crack the door to the bunker, but he fails.
Yeah, but he also is like, he carries Luke's lightsaber, which otherwise they would have died on the sail barge. In Force Awakens, he has a depressive bout, and then at the end of the movie, he decides to help and give the location of Luke Skywalker. In Episode 8, he starts Luke Skywalker from being a bitch and forces him to help Rey by showing him his past. And in Episode 9, he definitely does something. I swear to God, if Episode 9 is the one that breaks that, I'm going to be
hard limit.
I mean, he does do something in there, which is have C-3PO's files backed up. So he saves C-3PO, but I wouldn't say that saves, like... That's not
like, integral to the main plot.
That's, like, not a domino effect like all of the other things. Fuck, god damn you, JJ! I think you fucked up. Well, I mean, you did fuck up, but I think you are the one that broke this.
Fucked up.
God damn it! I can't think of anything. God damn you, J.J. Abrams.
Who's too busy cameoing in Star Trek.
So Padme is a massive pain in the ass in this movie to everyone she meets, huh?
I love that. so her one handmaid is dressing up and pretending to be the queen, but Padme, who's dressing up as a handmaid, is still going by Padme. Like, does nobody nobody know the name of the queen of the
Are you
fucking
saying
planet?
that Qui-Gon Jinn didn't do his research?
No, I mean, does nobody do their research?
Are you saying that in a series where they're hiding the son of evil space robot murderer with his family and didn't even bother to change his name? Are you telling me that they did that with another character?
Nearly everything that could have ended the entire franchise in Phantom Menace could be traced back to Padme being somewhere where she shouldn't fucking be.
I bet that's where Obi-Wan got the inspiration to only change his first name and just leave his last name, because he was like, fuck it. It worked for Padme. Like,
What was I asking? How old was Natalie Portman when this movie was filmed?
oh god.
That's
14?
underage, yeah.
Okay, so they did a
But
good
she
one.
was
Figured
she
underage.
was she was of age in Attack of the Clones.
Right. But they're like, I'm trying to, like, is she supposed to be, because how old is Padme supposed to be in this movie? Like, Padme is supposed to be
14.
like 16,
15,
14?
14.
15, I want to say.
I'm pretty sure
I
it's 14.
I couldn't remember if this was another case of like them casting an adult to play a child. Basically, I was about to compliment the movie, like, oh, they did really well. She looks like a literal child in this movie. Like,
No, it's because she was a literal child.
So you're telling me she was in fact a children?
she was a children.
Yep.
I was talking about this the other day with someone. I was like, it reminds me of this now. I'm also just of the age, like, I'm about to turn 28 this year. Anyone under the age of 25 is a literal child to me at this point. Like,
I mean,
it's just like, oh, you're
I referred to Ben like literally 3 days ago as a baby.
Yeah.
So
Like, I work in a business where I have to ID people constantly, daily, all the time. And people walk in constantly, and I'm like, oh, I gotta double check this ID and make sure it's not fake, because you look like you're 14. No, they're like 25. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I still constantly get carded. I'm 31 and I still look like I'm 12.
I haven't been carded since I was like, 16.
You are a full ass looking adult.
We were wrong.
What?
Natalie Portman is 18 in this.
Oh.
And she is?
She was born in 81 and this movie came out in 99.
She's probably 17.
Maybe 17. It's like
She
right
looks
there
like
on
she's
it.
like
But still,
12 in the movie.
yeah, she looks a lot younger.
She looks in she says in the Attack of the Clones special features that, by the way, worst scene in the movie.
This right here.
Yeah, the bargaining
freaking out
scene
on Obi-Wan.
with Watto and Qui-Gon, because this is the most overtly racist scene in the entire movie. God damn it, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! I'm gonna come through that goddamn screen and kill you. So Ben has this thing that he does. He specifically plans it where he will buy a Kit Kat bar and then eat nearly the entire bar without breaking it up, just to piss me off. I had a point, but I lost it. Oh, in the Attack of the Clones special features, she says, and this was kind of creepy too, where she's like, I guess now that I'm of age, I can show a little skin. When she was talking about the dress, I'm like, ew. That doesn't feel right. Gross. Gross. Very gross. Which it's George Lucas, so. I love how Obi-Wan immediately is like, we could sell all our clothes. I hate these subtitles so fucking much. They don't help in any way, shape, or form.
I'm sorry, hold on. What was that quote?
Noah
being
Gain.
Here about.
Oh, we can't start this.
Fucking Jar Jar, man. It's horrible.
I have literally listed on the podcast every line that does not make any fucking sense from Jar Jar. Now here comes one of the worst lines in all of Star Wars. That's just Alien Bumble. Not that one. Where is it? I'm 99% sure it's here. Oh, I might be wrong, and I'm gonna be embarrassed if I am.
I think I know what line you're thinking of too.
It's Whoopie Whoopie.
Oh, I thought we were gonna say
Oh no,
Bantha Poodoo.
that was previously. You missed it.
Now I accepted Bantha Poodoo. I have accepted Bantha Poodoo. Oh, was it? Oh, it was I missed it. It was the seller there.
Yeah, it showed that you missed it.
That was selling it. That
Yeah.
says Whoopie Whoopie, which apparently is
that's
a
the money.
currency in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's how much it costs. It costs, I think, 18 whoopie whoopie is what he said.
Why doesn't Book of Boba Fett talk about how the currency on the planet that he's running as a crime lord is Whoopie Whoopie?
I don't know. I would pay to see Tamara Morrison just say that constantly. They're in like a round table. He's like, "What do you mean? How many whoopie whoopie do I owe them?" No. Wow.
What does your Tamara Morrison accent sound exactly like your Harrison Ford accent?
It also sounds a little bit like Liam Neeson.
The grizzled old man voice.
Except one's Irish.
You'll never make it alive.
You'll never make it alive.
They'll blow you up. Boom.
Boom! I'll
Following
blow
this
you up.
child they met today home. Do they not teach stranger danger on Tatooine? What the fuck?
No, they definitely do
I
not.
also love how, like, in a second we'll see it. Shmi's just like, "Hi, Annie," and he's like, "I brought people home," and she's like, "Okay."
I brought a bunch of full-ass grown adults and one girl that's 5 years older than me here, and like a 60-year-old man.
This is the 60-year-old man that I met today. Just walking around all bearded and long-haired and just robe. Let's bring him home.
Anakin, what did I tell you
He
about
stinks
bringing
like
hobos home?
piss.
Yeah, he just smells like piss, like Jay said. He's just...
I found
Anakin,
that
your
old.
friend went himself.
I found this old man in robes that stinks like piss out getting ready to walk into a sandstorm.
He keeps calling himself a Jedi. He asked me if I wanted to see his laser sword. I don't know.
No.
C-3PO is not looking good here.
Nah.
It's looking rough.
They tried really hard. I think this is a puppet. This is
Yeah,
actually a puppet, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Anthony Daniels had to walk around in like a blue suit while they were doing this.
Oh, God.
And this is a practical effects set too. I don't remember who, but somebody hits their head off of this behind the scenes. Like, might have been George hits his head off of this behind the scenes because it's on the lot that they have in
That was
the
the-
UK.
Mark Hamill wasn't even there, and it was the best day of his life. For some reason, he was just in a great mood that day that George Lucas hit his head on the fucking...
I can't say that with 1,000% certainty because it's been a long time, but
Mark, are you okay? Yeah, I just got like this terrible feeling of justice.
justice.
I just
Wash
feel
over
oddly
me.
vindicated.
Lord Maul.
Lord Maul.
Lord Maul. I would like you to go to Tatooine. I'd like you to go to Tatooine. I'd like you to find the Jedi and the Queen there.
Who
And what happens if I find a small child? I don't care, run him over.
Whatever
but-
you do, don't run him the fuck over.
who did the voice of Maul in this movie? Because I am pretty confident that's not Ray Park's
That's
voice.
not Ray Park. I don't remember.
Let's find out. Boo! Hope if I knew how to spell Phantom.
No, this is saying that.
Yeah, Ray Park. He also voiced him
Oh,
in
no.
the Clone Wars.
No, hold on. Yeah, the body was stuntman actor Ray Park. Peter. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this, and this is the one episode we're not editing. Apologies to the original voice of Darth Maul, Peter Serafinowicz.
Hopefully that's right.
I'm almost sure it's not.
I love how Qui-Gon Jinn is questioned if he's a Jedi and immediately says to a 10-year-old child, maybe I murdered the shit out of a Jedi. Did you ever think about that, kid?
Fun fact, the voice of Darth Maul in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is the dude that played Pete in Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, no shit. Huh.
Who? You cut up for me. Who said that?
He's the voice, the guy that did the voice of Darth Maul played Pete in Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, that's wild. That's awesome.
He also is in Guardians of the Galaxy.
What?
Oh yeah, he's one of the Nova Corps members in Guardians.
Oh, okay.
The bastardized and ruined
Dealers
Nova Corps.
must have a weakness of some kind. I love the junk dealers have to have a weakness of some kind. Qui-Gon's just like, well, I've got a laser sword.
He also played the Tick in the Amazon The Tick series.
No.
Yes. Yeah, hey. I don't know what the fuck my Liam Neeson voice is, but hey, yes, they do have a weakness. I'm pretty sure a superheated sword that is a beam of energy concentrated might be a decent weakness.
How wild is this? That Shmi is just like, that's fine. This man just blew in from the sandstorm, and now he wants to like test my son and like check for Meta-Wutzowitz. Like, the fuck is a midichlorian?
Also, Shmi has like the fastest change of heart.
Yeah.
Ever right here. She's like, I would prefer my child not risk his life. And like 2 seconds later, she's like, you know what? Fuck it, let him go, let him race. I don't give a shit.
This is a hilarious. It is funny because she's like, no, there's clearly no other way. I see that, my one and only son is your only hope, people I just met today. So yes, I'd be happy to risk my son's life to help you. Again, people I met 20 minutes ago.
It's not like our like the person who owns our contracts as indentured servants. That I've been thankful that they wrecked the pod, so I didn't have to worry about my son riding pod races. Very dangerous, which he shouldn't be doing because no human should be doing it because we don't have quick enough reflexes. And then you, Mr. Smells Like Piss Jedi Man, walks into my house and says, "Yeah, why don't we have this small child run a race to save this queen?" And it's like, okay, I'm fine with that. Go have fun, Annie.
Have fun, honey. Don't die.
But it's okay because she feels uncomfortable while watching it later.
I love watching Qui-Gon bargain with CGI.
Yeah. I love watching Qui-Gon enable himself with his gambling addiction.
Watto has this I don't even know what the fuck it is. It's got a big wire that goes from like his back to like a holster at his side. It's not attached to anything. It's just like a fucking telephone cord.
Oh my god, I was just reminded how much I hate the wings on this because it's constantly clipping with this shirt, which has to chafe like a motherfucker.
Ugh. I don't know how I sit in this fucking chair for like 8 hours on D&D days. This fucking chair sucks, man. Ugh.
The chair I'm in started to wobble yesterday, and it's like I have to cut out how bad this chair sounds sometimes on the podcast.
Oh, jeez.
If I move a little bit, you can pick it up on the mic, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to help you with that one this time, gang.
I've never noticed it, honestly.
Because I do a good job of editing it out.
I mean, like, recording.
Yeah, I don't ever notice it.
This scene is fucking wild.
He's just in the backyard of their, like, tenant house area.
Pissman McGee is like, hey, this guy could be a Jedi. And she's like, yeah, I could believe that. And he's like, who's the dad? And she's like, oh, he had none. I just, immaculate conception. And he's like, not going to question that. In fact, I'm going to go to the most important people in the galaxy and say, here's my new friend. He was immaculately conceived. I'm sure he's important. And Mace Windu looks at him and goes, get the fuck out of here. That's Qui-Gon wasting our fucking time.
It's Qui-Gon.
That's so Qui-Gon.
And I swear to God, Qui-Gon, if you bring up fucking midichlorians one more time.
Your mumbo-jumbo nonsense midichlorian bullshit. It's like you're a random Wikipedia user that made a totally inaccurate fucking list, and now somebody dumb on a podcast fucking quotes it. You're not dumb, I'm sorry. I love you. Don't bring up that page. Don't you fucking bring up that page.
Jay sees me slowly opening my browser.
Another worst scene in this movie. Jar Jar Binks gets warned about
Jar Jar, don't do this one specific thing. Instantly sticks his head right where he was told not to put anything.
And then he gets his hand stuck inside of a fucking pod race engine.
Yeah. C-3PO's like, that guy's kind of silly. Doesn't even say anything.
C-3PO's so great. C-3PO rocks. I love C-3PO so much. C-3PO the entire time is just like, I find this quite odd. I'm like, yeah, 3PO, I find it odd too. I really don't want to be here right now. Yeah, C-3PO, me too.
Jar Jar's right in plain view of Anakin, and he's just, getting ready to fire up the fucking engines. Anakin's like, I'm about to save the rest of the trilogy. Hold on.
Listen, Anakin's always been a monster. In there, he was ready to kill that Gungan.
Engines just explode right here.
That would be hilarious to get to.
Qui-Gon
just walks back out. Well, what about that immaculate conception?
Yeah, Shimi's just looking on as her son turns into a fucking fireball.
How did he get cut?
That's a good question.
Is it from the scene where he gets into a fight?
Do you think that this moment flashes back in poor tortured Anakin Skywalker's head? The whole, I want to be the first one to see them all. Do you think that just flashes through his head as he's being dispersed by the Emperor to planet after planet after planet after planet to just murder people?
Well, I think
Vader's got like a wall where he's just putting a tick every time he goes to a new place.
I think it went from I want to see them all to I want to conquer them all.
He got one of those Like, you know how there's those scratch-off maps of places you visited? He got one of those, but it's just the galaxy. I love this ship. I'm sorry, but Darth Maul's ship is just amazing.
It's the second best ship in this movie.
I also like how Darth Maul is head to toe in black robes, and he's just got this big fucking silver bracelet with goddamn buttons on it.
This is another laugh scene that I get occasionally that's coming up, where he just gets on his motorcycle and plummets off the fucking cliff.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the scene that makes me laugh every single time, where he takes the binoculars out and he goes to the right and there's just nothing but desert, and he goes to the left and there's just nothing but desert. I just picture that eternal conversation for like, yep, whole lot of nothing, okay.
Why does he pull out the binoculars anyway? It's like, now that you mention it, there's really no reason. Oh, this is another bad scene. I mean, it's a great scene until we see Sebulba getting massaged.
Yeah.
Is Watto wearing...
Is Watto a space racist?
Is Watto wearing assless
He
chaps?
owns people, Ben!
I know, but
Hold on.
like...
Is Watto wearing assless chaps? Hold on. Am I just not
Let's
noticing
go
this?
back.
No!
No, he's just not wearing clothes. He just has that
I
many
couldn't
belts.
tell. Is that just what the pattern... Oh, okay, it's the pattern of his...
Mini belts.
Yeah, okay. That's somehow weirder.
Man,
But why's he got a vest then?
I was wondering why the mini belts protagonist went out of style after 1999. I guess we have our reason. Watto killed the mini belts protagonist.
Why does he have a vest
Oh,
but
God,
no
the
bottoms?
belly
My
button.
man's out here doing a full Winnie the Pooh right now.
Oh, I just noticed his belly button. And I
Gross.
can't unnotice it.
Well, that's the podcast episode title. I just noticed his belly button.
Yeah, Watto's just got a bunch of belts and, like, a thong.
Who's this other random child?
Oh, that's Anakin's best friend. He's seen it in like 3 scenes.
Yeah.
His name is Kit, isn't it?
I want to say yes. Kicks.
Sure.
Kicks, I want to say.
I know because I edited his face on Babe Ruth's at one point.
Do you think that character's been expanded on in media since, like, how he grows up?
He's a major character in I'm trying to remember. It's actually a Luke and Mara book, I think. Or no, it's a Leia and Han book where they go back to Tatooine and they're interacting with the cantina, because that's the other appearance of B. Arthur's character in Star Wars EU canon. And he gets himself into some trouble with gangsters. He's like a
Kickster Chani Banani.
Yeah, he gets himself
Banai.
Caught up with some gangsters because he owes money. I think he's like he repairs speeders. He's older there, and I think Han and Leia meet him, and he's kind of like, I knew this kid, and I don't think they ever actually talk about Anakin, but
yeah, he was a smuggler during the Clone Wars.
Is that canon?
That is Legends.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh no, we've arrived.
We have arrived at the best part of the movie.
I was not looking forward to this.
I am
An edible's peaking right about now, and I'm having a miserable time. I really missed time
so
this one.
happy. that I have everyone here right now.
This was
the funnest. This was the most fun watch I've had in rotations until right now. This guy's fucking
big
This guy's
crocodile weasel
looping
man.
fucking animation. It's not even good loops. Like, you could see the exact moment where the animation, like, reverses.
Man, how hard must it be to live on Tatooine as it's not the Mon Calamari, it's the other race that lives on Mon Cal.
Oh, the,
Starts with a Q.
Quarren.
Yeah, the Quarren. There's a Quarren in the crowd. I'm like, this must not be the ideal environment for you, my dude.
Put a whole ass flag ceremony in this fucking scene now.
Man, it's almost like this was shorter in the theatrical release.
Why was this scene needed?
Because it was shorter in the theatrical release.
No, why did we need the scene of this animal, like,
Farting
and Jar
in
Jar?
Jar's direction.
Yeah.
Because it was shorter in the theatrical release.
That's not
and that
a
wasn't
reason,
there.
Jay.
No.
That's not a
It's not.
reason, George.
They weren't sitting there like, well, the theatrical release was shorter, so we gotta have an animal farting on Jar Jar.
Stop twirling your body parts, Sebulba.
I'm fucking 9,
Fucking
dude.
weird, my dude. That would have been
Sebulba's
much funnier dialogue. Anakin's just like, I'm a kid, my dude. I'm
Sebulba's
an
a really
actual
good
child
character.
right now. What are you doing?
I like Sebulba so much.
Sebulba's this
comic
evil piece
book-
of shit who's just
he's like
decided he's gonna make his life's mission to murder a child.
He's
gonna
a
bully a
20s
9-year-old.
Oh my god, it makes so much sense now.
No, don't do
So
this.
in the Phantom Menace special features, right? There's multiple scenes where George is writing the script in his office, and he has on a small TV with a bunch of 20s silent movies that are all like the girl is kidnapped scenes. Sebulba, he's like saying, "Ha, that's so funny" and shit like that, and admiring what it took to get the shots working. Because there's like one when they're running on a train, like on the top of a train in the 20s. That's where Sebulba came from. He stole Sebulba from one of these old school fucking mustache twirling villains.
Mustache twirling.
That's awesome.
My God.
George is just in the writer's room. He's like, what if Sebulba kidnaps Padme and ties her to a
rail line.
line?
Better movie.
And they're like, George, this movie's already too long. You can't put this whole other side plot in.
What do you mean I can't have my...
Okay, we can do that, but we have to take the animal farting at Jar Jar in the pod, right? He's like, nope, we're not doing
Absolutely
it.
not.
And he snuck it in the back door anyway. Oh. God damn it.
I love that that's the same looping animation for that character.
It's just like all these tough-looking aliens and then a 10-year-old child.
It's literally a child.
I don't know why that got me. I've seen this movie fucking 10 times in the last 2.5 years.
I always forget Warwick Davis is in this movie.
There's an alternate timeline where the pod just straight up doesn't work. Like,
there are so many alternate timelines.
Yeah.
And Qui-Gon Jinn is like, maybe he's not the chosen. Excuse me, maybe he's not the chosen one and just takes off. Saves the galaxy. No Darth Vader. Oh god, it's Ben's favorite character. I always forget that your favorite character is the worst pod racer ever.
Listen.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Who's the worst pod racer ever, Ben?
Y'all remember that fucking N64 pod racer game?
It was a good game.
I
used to. So when I was little, once a year we would go up to a different mall that's farther away from where we are, because we live in a very rural area. So it would be like the larger mall in the more metropolitan area. And I was a little kid, so I wouldn't pay attention. So they would leave me and usually one of the parents, my dad, in like one area that's like the old school entertainment area for like 97 through 2002. And I would just play the N64 Pod Racer game in the electronics section for an hour, and I always looked forward to it. And then eventually I had it at home too.
There was an arcade version of it too.
Yeah.
There was a this is how old I am. There was a arcade next to my dad's job when I was a kid, and sometimes I'd have to go to work with my dad, so I would just go hang out at the arcade, and I would play the fucking Star Wars Pod Racer game and like Time Crisis 2.
Our local arcade, me and only got shut down about 5 years ago, so it was around for quite a while. And right before they shut down, they had a X-Wing Death Star crawl, like actual sit-in seat arcade game, and it was only there for 3 months before the whole place went under. I used to go to that arcade and I would just play X-Men on the top. They had a pair of steps on the top area. I would just play that game constantly. I always got so close to the end too. I think we're just talking about this, so Ben's not talking about the pod race, and I feel like that's unfair.
That's all right. I'm just soaking it in.
There's a bar out here that's the arcade bar, and it's literally this fucking basement bar that just has a shitload of old arcade cabinets, and the X-Men arcade game is one of them.
Oh, there used to be a pizza place near here that had like the TMNT arcade cabinet inside of it. So when we would go pick up pizza, I would just play that, or I come in. That place went up in flames. So.
Oh shit.
That was one of the moments I knew. It was one of the moments a few years ago I realized I'm a very fucking old person at this point, because I remember sitting in that bar playing the X-Men arcade game, drinking a gin and tonic, and going, what the fuck happened somewhere here? I'm sure if you asked like a kid nowadays like what an arcade is, they wouldn't know. They just straight up wouldn't know.
I have a group of friends and I usually every year go on a vacation trip over to New Jersey. And like we go to LBI, so like it's literally just an island with one main strip of road. And there's a like an amusement park / arcade, and every year we go to the arcade. And me and my friend Redacted play the Halo arcade cabinet that's there every year.
Friend of the show, Redacted.
Friend of the show, Redacted.
Friend of the show, Redacted.
Maybe you're watching.
Yeah, I've been invited to that
weird
multiple
episode.
times.
Probably not.
I've been invited to that, and the scheduling has never worked out. And then the last 2 years have been fucking pandemic.
I will say, I don't want to give any part of this fucking scene credit. I don't know. I like that whole part where he's sitting there with the little like magnet pole having to fix the fucking thing in the middle of the race.
I like the part right before that where he's just like fucking spinning. Like Anakin should
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
Cockpit. Like,
that magnet part was not in the original cut.
Yeah. It's disappointing watching this because like every time I watch it, like it's like, oh, it's still a good scene. Like it's
a great
it's enjoyable, it's fun. But I don't want to give it the credit because god damn it, Ben.
I disliked the scene way before Ben made it a bit, but now I hate it even more. Although it is deeply funny that in a world of like laser guns, there's just some people camping out and firing actual bullets at the kid on the fucking raceway.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I love that the Tuscans are just like, it's the annual race. Let's just go shoot at them because we fucking feel like it.
Listen,
Like...
I mean, it's doing nothing but helping the Tatooine, Alabama comparisons, right?
There's a gun raffle
camped out in the
happening at
woods,
this
just-
fucking
Yeah.
at this fucking pod race. It's got that like half metropolitan, half rural thing going on where there's an official fucking gun raffle and then outside someone's scalping tickets.
Uh-huh.
It's got the worst of both worlds.
Tickets and guns, you know.
I also love
Probably.
There's people watching the race right at the service ramp that is literally on the track. Like,
y'all, I can't express how much easier this watch is than normal.
Did he crash it?
OTD.
I love that.
Fucking Sebulba's just like, I'm gonna wreck you with the laser. Fucking.
Sebulba's like, finally, I get to kill this 9-year-old.
The thing is, like, I love that, you know, like Jay said, in this world of, like, laser swords and shit, it's just like, yeah, these fucking psychos strap a seat with some ropes to a fucking couple of engines.
It really is redneck. It's some Pennsyltucky bullshit.
"30 years later, Luke's flying around in a ship, driving around in a car with a gun, shooting fucking rats." Like,
Florida Bama, baby.
I mean, that sounds like upstate New York, to be fair.
It also does sound like Pennsyltucky, which I have spent.
It's a very Pennsyltucky thing.
Listen, like, upstate New York is definitely honorary Pennsyltucky, all right?
It is. It's Pennsyltucky 0.5.
We got dudes driving around in fucking Confederate flags on their trucks. I'm like, my dude, you're about as north as it gets.
I hate this dual-headed fucking... That too, but this dual-headed fucking commentator, I hate it so much.
Why?
Obi-Wan, calm down.
Because I've watched these movies 10 times in the last 2.5 years, and it's just one guy saying something and then alien bullshit. And the problem is, if it was an actual language, I would be able to put up with it, but it's just whatever sounds came out of George Lucas's stupid fucking brain.
I also love that there's a random hook on Sebulba's pod just to accidentally hook onto Anakin's pod. Because reasons.
It's not accidental. That's Sebulba's strategy. I don't see that as a movie mistake. I see that as being something Sebulba actually planned.
He'd secure it so that this shit didn't happen as soon as Anakin
Do the people that pod race look like they secure anything safely? Poodle.
Anakin's like, yay, everyone else is dead.
I love the little jiggle out of the Rhodian, just like, especially since in the original, like in the deleted scenes, they get into a fist fight like right after this. Jabba the Hutt slept through the entire thing.
Sounds about right.
God, Anakin looks like me getting off of work.
I was gonna make that joke as well. Shmi's just like, yeah, I'm so glad you lived, but mostly I'm glad that you did it in the first place, even though you could have died and almost did die several times. She's a bad boss.
I'm so glad that space wizard didn't talk me into letting you die.
She's a bad mom.
I love Shmi.
She's great.
She's a bad mom.
Fucking Qui-Gon Jinn.
Is she great? Why is she great? If we think she's a terrible
she's a bad
mother, what if
mom.
Listen, you could like a character and still admit that they're the fucking worst.
I also love how the Sith fucking spy droid just goes right past Qui-Gon and he's just oblivious.
That's some George Lucas CGI bullshit. Just like, we have to remind them. George Lucas has this problem, he has self-admitted it, where if there's nothing going on in the background of a scene, he feels like he's failed. Like, it's ridiculous.
There's the line.
There's the line. There's racist Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's a dickhead.
What was going on in George Lucas's head when he decided that every Padawan of Jedi have to have rat tails?
Listen, you could stop the sentence with what was going on in George Lucas's mind. And we could apply it to a lot of things.
I love how Shmi is sadder about him getting off of Tatooine than she was him possibly dying in the pod race. I love
She's also kind of excited, though, to give Shmi a little bit of credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, she's definitely more upset about him leaving than she is about him potentially dying. Does she know that a grown-ass alien threatens her son's life on the regular? Like...
Well, I think she's well aware of how shit the situation is.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a point.
I don't know what it is about watching this right now, but I can't look away from the little yellow warning caution tape and the button that's behind her.
What?
There's like a button. There's like a fucking button hanging behind her. It's got like caution tape on it, and there's a button embedded inside of it, and it looks like the fucking thing that you would find in a factory to open a fucking door. You can't see it now, but when it was just her solo, that's what it looked like.
She's a solo?
That would really make
Imperial
the timeline
officer? An Imperial officer gave her a name too?
Yeah, we've talked about before how there's got to be others, you know.
Just make the family time line even more fucking problematic.
Oh no, I'm saying like straight up an Imperial officer was just like, yeah.
Solo. Don't worry, you'll have a family reunion and everything.
He's a Republic officer right now, but you know, when the Empire takes over, he just like naturally, he gets grandfathered in.
Listen, he was 3 years away from getting his pension. He can't morally look away from the Empire when he's about to get fucking retirement.
I also like how Anakin just keeps C-3PO turned off in his room. Like, he's like, all right, C-3PO, boo!
Okay, C-3PO, you're done being a person till I'm back, click.
It's like the Bo Burnham special where he goes to take the sock off his head. It's like, please, I can't go back. It's also what it feels like to watch these movies alone. This is not a typical watch. I've been more in tune with the movie than I have in a long time because we're talking about it. But C-3PO being turned on and off is what most watches feel like now. It's like I'm paying super attention. My eyes are glossed over.
It's more akin to a constant state of sleep paralysis.
Annie, get the fuck off this planet, please. Shmi's a good mom. And a bad mom, all wrapped up into one.
Do you want that on record there, Jay?
Listen, she's willing to put her son into a death race But when it's the choice between being a mom and seeing her son get off of the planet where he's a slave, she chooses the less selfish option. So you're allowed to be a good and a bad mom. You know, on a bad mom scale, she's only a 7, not a 10. I don't know, probably a 9. Probably a 9.
There's been a lot of retractions on this episode.
I'm worried about the implications of a bad mom scale. I don't wanna quantify.
Oh, I have
Quantify
notes.
the-
Let me tell you, I got some notes. I
Are
can
you
assist
making
in this
notes
research.
right now?
No. So I'm at the bad mom scale.
I don't know. I was lucky in that regard.
I have some things I can be of use in this scientific endeavor.
Oh, here it comes. Here comes
This
the best
is
scene.
the best part.
It's
The best scene
it's
of the
best
movie.
part of
It's coming.
It's awesome.
Holy shit.
And there's the
Lord, I have some body cam footage here. Would you please explain why you tried to run over that small child? Well, Lord Sidious, I would have assumed you would have also wanted to run over. I'm an evil emperor, not a child murderer.
I prefer to let my apprentices do that for me.
No, I like the I like the robot chicken bit. The only good robot chicken bits have all been Star Wars bits.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah.
robot chicken bit where he's like, I didn't ask you to
Oh my
kill
God, I forgot.
children. And the kid,
Yeah, we could have used them. We
You
could have
did
recruited them, you know? Thank you. Even Palpatine just freaking out like, oh my God.
you fucked me. You've royally fucked me, Lord Maul. Lord Vader. Lord Maul just doesn't come off the tongue in Palpatine's voice as well as Lord Vader. Lord Maul.
Also, I do love that, like, Palpatine's 2 for 3 on apprentices that have killed children, or at least attempted.
Lord Maul, I have to be honest with you. I didn't expect great things out of you. I called you Lord Maul. You were the one decided to put the U in, and I fully expected M-A-L-L.
What is this fucking chair?
I
hate
bad.
it so much.
I love
Like, they
I
lopped
love
off
what this
the top of a droidica and just made it a chair.
What is it about
I
George
believe-
Lucas and instead of using hover technology, making giant legs out of machines?
That's a good question.
Wow.
This podcast has ruined me because anytime anyone brings up like Darth Vader, which my wife does pretty often, I immediately under my breath just Lord Vader.
Lord Vader.
In the fucking like Palpatine voice.
Can we talk about how Jar Jar is sleeping in this scene?
Just sprawled out, fucking legs
Sprawl-
kicked up on the table. Stupid little feet.
Those are some terrible
He's got, like,
looking feet.
Stubby toes.
You can tell that
Ew,
that's
it's really flamed, my dude. Go soak those things. Some
He's
Epsom salt or
supposed to
something.
be
Holy shit.
aquatic, too. He's
They-
got, like, fucking elephant feet, and he's supposed to be, like,
well.
a
I'm
semi-aquatic species.
gonna defend the movie even though I don't want to.
Don't do this to me.
When whales started to evolve into aquatic creatures, their feet did not look much different. However, on the other side of things, you can tell in the scene where, like, before the full CGI Jar Jar, that they literally just made styrofoam legs because they didn't, like, they put that in the scene, and those look like they put no effort into it.
They'd been deprived of oxygen for like a week before this, probably. What do you
My God.
He just has his feet up like an older person whose feet blow up because they're retaining water, meaning just like feet all the way up.
Jesus Christ.
What? Jesus Christ.
Surprise, I'm on Wikipedia.
Of course.
Of course.
Because
Oh, by the way, I don't think we're doing Weird Wikipedia this rotation. I feel like...
no,
Why not?
I'm 100% on board for no weird Wikipedia.
We can do weird Wikipedia.
Just like in the middle of the episode.
We're just here bullshitting anyway.
I'm gonna sideblind the podcast with weird Wikipedia.
Just randomly in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that till just now.
Listen, this
up
is a
the
watch
article
along
for,
where it's like watching along with your friends and they're just talking about anything but the movie.
I mean, we've been
Pulled up
talking
the
about the
thing
movie
for-
more than we usually do on an episode.
That's true. I pulled up the article for walkers because I remember there was some kind of logic to why they had walkers as opposed to like.
I'm sure.
But like, the first thing is like they had between 2 and 12 legs. And there's no picture for a 12-legged walker.
I would like to see a 12-legged walker.
Oh no, there
I
is.
also like to see that.
I was wrong. It actually appears in episode 2.
Oh yeah, I know what it is.
The
Yeah, I've seen that.
the laser beam dudes.
Yeah.
The laser beam dudes.
Yeah.
During the Battle of Geonosis.
Yeah. Can we talk about Palpatine's hair? Like, it's so wildly different than any other appearance Palpatine has anywhere in the saga. Just like he's got like this mullet going on.
Wait, I wasn't paying attention.
It'll come back. This it makes me uncomfortable when Jar Jar gets in and he says "pity hot" after talking about Padme, and you can't tell what the fuck he's talking. Because is he talking about the planet's hot? Because he just left Tatooine.
No, because he was talking about the princess or the queen right before that.
Everything okay, Chris?
No.
No.
My wife in the doorway. Are you almost done? And me checking the time and going, oh God, no.
Did you remind her that we're doing live watches?
Yes.
Okay.
Still have an hour left. A little under.
Nice thing about watching on the DVD is I have no idea how much time is left.
We're getting there. That's all I can say.
We're on the second to last planet. So let's talk about this hair.
Are we measuring it in planets now?
I've always measured them in planets.
Oh God, the widow's peak.
Well, the receding hairline doesn't bother me. It's like, it's Wolverine, but like instead of upward, it's got the turn like below the neck and it comes out. I love how you're supposed to believe that Palpatine's being slick here. He's just like, I don't know, maybe you could like try to overthrow the Chancellor or something to try to get what you want. Padme's like, yeah, I'm not falling for that shit. He's also got some wild sideburns going on. There's the Blunt Temple. I don't think we've talked about on the podcast how the top of the Jedi Temple just looks like a bunch of blunts. We lost Ben at some point.
He put in the Discord, I have to pee, be right back. I don't know why he felt the need to type that and not just say that. I don't think anyone expects us to sit here for this whole 2-hour movie and not have to pee. I drink a lot of water. That's not going to happen.
How dare you pee in the middle of a 2-hour podcast?
Yeah, what are our listeners? Fucking heads of Amazon warehouses?
Go in your panic box.
Yeah, use your bottle. What do you?
Mace Windu. Mace Windu's fucking body language, the moment that Qui-Gon starts to talk, is just like, oh, this motherfucker.
It's immediately hostile.
Everything about Mace Windu is hostile.
I mean, it's Samuel L. Jackson.
I mean, like, his voice is very controlled, but his eyes are just like, I will stab
Pure
you.
murder.
It's either I will murder you, or you are the dumbest motherfucker on the planet.
Little of both. It's like, you're a dumb motherfucker and I'm gonna murder you.
And Coyote Mundi gives off just like he does these side eyes a lot throughout all of the prequels, and every single one reads like, I don't know, Yoda, this guy seems like a dick. What do you think?
Did you? Yeah. He doesn't really have many speaking lines.
No, I think the only one he has is, what about the droid attack on the Wookiees? And dry out the Queen's attacker. That's like all of them. I'm alone.
No, I just have to close my door because my cat opened it, and now my wife is home, and I don't want my poor wife to have to hear what's happening in here. Needless to say, she's not one of our listeners. She finds our TikToks very funny though, so she likes us in small doses.
Our infrequently timed TikToks.
It's probably about time to post another one of those. It's been about probably 2 months.
I'll probably start some YouTube shorts at some point. I did say on Twitter when we said we were getting off Spotify that I'd try, so
That could be fun.
welcome to Inside the Star Wars Every Week Forever gang.
I figured you listen. I think we all had to figure that's what these episodes would end up turning into.
Yeah. By the way, sorry we haven't done a new outro. We'll do that soon when we have time.
Yeah.
Has Palpatine's nose always been like very angular? Or am I going nuts?
I think you're admiring Palpatine a little too closely. You know, like, look at that gorgeous face, just
I mean, he's the best actor in the movie.
chiseled by the gods.
Palpatine
Pure
is
marble.
another character that gets me through these fucking movies. That's another reason why I'd watch Rise of Skywalker, like, not over Attack of the Clones, but, like, Palpatine in it shouldn't be there. Can I deal with Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker? Yes, because Ian McDiarmid is so fucking ridiculous. Where is E.T.? E.T.'s coming up. The way that Palpatine just, like, whispers in Padme's ear as if the fucking place isn't mic'd up. Like, there's got to be people in the lower balconies that, like, have a little better hearing than everybody else. Just like, did Palpatine just talk shit about the bureaucrats? Is Palpatine talking shit about the Chancellor right now? I feel like when Ben gets back, I have to ask him if the Rhodians were actually a part of the Galactic Senate, because I feel like that is not the case, but I don't know. I have all this useless information that's all turned to gush, that just fucking gunk in the back of my head. Wookiees back there.
There's E.T.
There are the ETs. Fucking nerd George. That headdress looks so fucking heavy.
They will elect a new chancellor, a strong chancellor. So creepy.
His name rhymes with Hansler Falpapreen. Hansler Falpapreen.
She's just staring at him deadpan. He's like, me, I'm talking about me.
I'm going to become the new chancellor. Well, I don't know. I think I was thinking of voting for Bela and Tilly's of Alderaan. I will become the new chancellor. Listen. You have no idea what I have planned. It involves a small child and a clone army. It's the weirdest scene.
Yoda's like, your close-up magic is pretty good, but how are your practical skills?
Young Skywalker, little bitch you are. Miss your mother. Dare you, how? Never knew my mother, I did. See me crying, do you?
How were the Jedi ever supposed to be viewed as like the good guys with this whole fucking speech? It just reeks. Maybe it's because I'm a person, and it's pointed out to me often. I'm a person whose views are very colored by a deep-seated hatred for organized religion.
Yeah.
But the Jedi's little speech there is just so like,
yeah.
Ooh, it leads to hate, and this leads to. God, holy shit, man! Calm down. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel that.
Jedi,
I think the
Jedi
idea.
have some severe satanic panic energy.
I think if George had done the sequels, he would have told the story of how the Jedi failed. Because he said multiple times, like, the Jedi failed because they became too unhuman. So I think, like, George was trying to go for that, but he also wanted to ride the line of everyone Jedi in the movie being heroes, so he failed in doing that.
He's also the guy who hates Mara Jade.
He doesn't actually. I think he's indifferent on Mara Jade. It's a bit.
It's mostly a bit, but it's hilarious every time.
It is hilarious.
It's a really good bit. Ben's back.
You missed us just talking shit about Palpatine. And also saying you didn't have to type that in the chat.
Yeah.
I know, but I ain't want you guys being like, oh, Ben fucking vanished. I ain't want to, you know.
You could have just said it out loud.
You could have just said I have to go to the bathroom.
My fans,
sorry, audience, I need to pee.
I need to express to our fans how big of a shit I just had to take. But, you know, here we are now.
You crossed the line. You could have just gotten away with saying you pissed.
Yeah.
Ah. If you're going to make me say it, I'm going to say it.
The fake, to segue, the fake concern that Palpatine shows in this is so good.
Oh, Your Majesty.
She has what looks like just a black banana on top of her head right now, and it's hilarious to me. It seriously just looks like a big-ass black banana.
It looks like the Stargate serpent guns. Like, in Stargate, they have the Goa'uld have, like, guns that are just shaped like a serpent, and they, like, extend out when you shoot them. That's what it looks like.
Qui-Gon's so fucking shocked. Like, dude, you've trained how many Padawans, and you're surprised we won't take this freaking 9-year-old?
Oh, we were talking shit on the Jedi Order before you came in, too.
I kind of glimpsed to that, yeah.
Just like they are not the good guys. I think George was aware of it, but he doesn't handle it well.
And it's not like a it's not like a Warhammer 40k. They're not the good guys. Where Warhammer 40k is just like everyone's a piece of shit. It's like no, these are definitely the good guys. They're just shitty, but they're good.
I fucking hate fantasy worlds where everyone is the bad guy. I hate them so much.
Oh, you see, I love. I mean, obviously, you know, and most of the people listen know I love Grimdark. Like,
there's a difference between Grimdark and every character is fucking awful.
I mean, there's some characters in 40k who are redeemable.
Mace Windu with his best, I will talk to you like a fucking toddler, you old senile fuck voice. He's like leaning forward like you do to a child you're chastising too.
Oh my god.
These watches are so much fucking better with company. They really are.
I'm excited to see how this rotation wraps up.
What,
Probably
the sequels?
Well,
not just the sequels, but like mostly just Rise of Skywalker. I'm interested for.
It's gonna be us angry the whole time.
It's either gonna be a real fun recording or a real scary one.
It's gonna be both. I'm not allowed to train you, but here, I'm going to give you all the advice I'm going to train you, okay? I'll do everything short of putting a lightsaber in your hand.
I also love the one meme that came out of this where Anakin's like, I don't want to be a problem, and then he becomes the biggest problem in the galaxy.
This is like Luke Skywalker giving Grogu the Yoda lightsaber. It's like Qui-Gon, like Luke seems crazy in that scene because Qui-Gon, if Qui-Gon had taken out a lightsaber and just handed it to Anakin here, it would be fucking insane. But because Book of Boba Fett is assumedly a better show, we don't think about it.
Well, I'm pretty sure Luke said, like, I will train you and eventually you will get this lightsaber if you make that choice.
Probably.
He's not straight up like, hey, here you go.
Here's a decent point to talk about Book of Boba Fett if you wanna.
This is how Obi-Wan trained me. Here's a lightsaber. Have fun.
I know the season finale just came out. I'm sure one of you want to talk about it.
Not really. It was fine.
I mean, really?
Have you seen it yet, Ben?
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it, but it just kind of ended. It wasn't like...
I don't know, it wrapped up.
I know, but like, there was a lot of build-up. And then...
There's definitely some stuff they could have done earlier in the series to like...
There's a problem with all Disney Plus shows where they try to fit the entire climax into the last episode and fail badly.
Yeah. It's just like, alright. Din and Grogu fly off, and now Boba Fett's just here with all his friends, and he's smiling walking down the street, and it's fucking
he's
like...
smiling a lot.
What the hell is happening? And it's like, alright, so do we never see these characters again? Because what the fuck?
Here's Kate Bishop and here's King Ben. We have to some way end Kate Bishop's story arc, and we didn't give her much of one here. So here's King Ben. She's going to kick his ass in 30 seconds. Which just disservice to both characters. It's like, you didn't have time.
No, that fight scene was great. I'll die on that hill.
What I think they should have done for Boba is
Bulba?
they should have...
Boba.
I know what you said. You said Bulba by accident.
I said Boba.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we just got to the I can't fight a war for you line, and like literally in the next movie, the entire Jedi fight a war for them.
Yeah.
Well, if they set up earlier, spoilers for a show that finished up 6 weeks ago, if they set up Cad Bane being the one to wipe out the Tusken tribe, it would have been a lot better.
I like this ship. I have no idea what really happens in Book of Boba Fett other than they do the zooms at the end because Baby Yoda is hanging out in an R2
they do the
area.
Zooms at the end.
Which was
is on,
adorable.
like another planet
Pretty
right
adorable.
now. Chris is doing the Zooms right now.
I am. Yep. Yes, I am.
So is Qui-Gon better than the entire Jedi Order, or is he worse?
Yes.
You know, it's hard to say. Yes. Yes.
Because he's the only
like,
human character.
But he also
strikes me as,
gambles
like-
slave children.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He strikes me as like what a child's idea of a cool uncle would be. Where you're like, yeah, he's cool and he's like, you know, kind of a rebel and this and that. And then when you get older and you
look
start to
back.
actually learn
Yeah.
about Uncle Qui-Gon, you're like, oh yeah, I guess it wasn't that cool when at age 6 he had me in the front seat while he was rolling his own cigarette while driving and blaring Black Sabbath.
Palpatine is just sitting in a room with Vader. He's like, I did love my master Qui-Gon. He did once gamble my life for freedom in the most dangerous sport on the planet. Lord Vader, I'm not really one to judge because I did kind of gaslight you into becoming the worst monster on the planet, but that actually seems pretty fucked up, Lord Vader.
It's one of those where you start realizing how fucked up the story is while you're telling it.
Oh, I've got a lot of those.
It's like, yeah, then I raced in a race where I was threatened to get killed at the age of 9.
I've had a lot of those
Which my
moments,
mom
and
wasn't
Jay
on
has been
board for.
around for a few of those.
Yeah. The best and
Realizing
worst
all the
moments on this podcast is when we do scenes where Palpatine is telling Darth Vader that something is fucked up. Well, it's like the Bo Burnham one. I gotta be honest with you, Lord Vader. That's really fucked.
That's why I think a lot of those Robot Chicken sketches work, because, like, the Palpatine-Vader dynamic, in a casual sense, is the funniest shit.
We have accidentally borrowed the Palpatine-Vader
Oh, yeah.
Dynamic from Robot Chicken.
It's because it's so good, though.
So let me get this straight, Lord Vader. Obi-Wan Kenobi tells you to not lose your lightsaber, and then 20 minutes later he loses his lightsaber. Kind of seems like he's painting in broad strokes here, Lord Vader.
Listen, real talk though. I know we bullshit and we make a lot of jokes. I think that we could do a very funny adult animated Vader and Palpatine show.
I know, we've been pitching it forever. Disney Plus, call us.
I love how half the ground in these shots is just out of focus. I'm sorry, I had to bring that up because it's been bothering me for years.
Well, no, it's the old, that's purposeful. It's old.
Bad.
It's not bad. It's just the way films used to be shot. Everything but the thing you're meant to be looking at is out of focus because you're meant to draw your eye specifically to that.
Yeah, but I look at the backgrounds now because I'm bored of
Who
what
are
I'm
you,
supposed
George
to look
Lucas? Okay, that's fair. Like, no,
But
what you're complaining about is basic filmmaking.
But yeah, like, we could totally... I think the three of us together have the creative capacity to create a show like that.
We don't often pat ourselves on the back, but genuinely I think we could make a very funny version of this show.
We could make a very funny version that would be extremely funny to us and 7 other people.
No, I've seen some of the shit that gets made nowadays. I think we would be fine.
Disney Plus.
Listen, if Rick and Morty is as popular as it is, anything can be popular.
Rick and Morty shots fired on the podcast.
Me and my roommate were talking about that the other day.
Literally the worst show ever made.
Rick and Morty bros.
Why are you talking about Rick and Morty when your love interest is on the screen?
You say this like my eyes have moved from my screen.
They haven't. They really, truly haven't. It's important to note watching it live. They really didn't.
I'm the only one not watching on the computer, so I'm just constantly staring off screen the entire recording.
I've got you guys on like my left-hand side monitor and the movie on my main monitor.
I have a very precarious setup here. I have my Xbox sitting on a broken chair, and I have the TV sitting on top of emptied crates.
That's probably doable. If I have an all-in-one PC. If I get another monitor, is there a way to make that work on this?
Probably.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I need another monitor.
As long as you have at least another video out on your I'm assuming you have a GPU.
Welcome to your Star Wars Every Week Forever, your favorite tech talk
your tech tips
podcast.
Do I have another video output on this thing? Come here.
Chris, we're recording, Chris.
What's up?
Chris, I can't. All I see is an empty chair.
Chris, come back, please.
I'm here. I'm right here. I haven't moved. I just moved the.
I haven't moved, says Chris's forehead.
I just moved the computer. No, I moved the screen. See? Now I'm low again.
You're not low. You're high, Chris. Jay writes furiously.
That's one of my favorite lines ever.
Now, Newt Gunray's walking, but the fucking hologram has the fucking walking projector.
So the chair is both a chair and also a hologram projector.
Oh god, that must be terrible for like surprise calls.
Palpatine's just like, no, sir. I am in charge, and to illustrate that I am in charge, I'm taking your chair, and I request that you build a hologram projector into this chair. so that I am the one that walks around with this spider chair.
Newt Gunray, you okay there? Yeah, I just forgot my hologram projector was on vibrate.
Gross. Gross. Gross.
That's in your brain now. You're welcome.
Who's ready for the Windows 95 screen?
Oh, that's not even
There
the
it is.
screen. Oh, it cinches the ground. It's.
Where are the Gundams?
Where's my Gundams? God damn it!
We're making a lot of image jokes in the episode that I will put nothing in. I lose my goddamn mind if I try to do that on this
There's
episode.
no way.
I will not judge you if you don't do a thing.
Oh, I'm not.
I will actually be pissed if you do.
I would like to point out that in this high-tech movie, they use laser pointers in order to tell them when the plan is starting.
No, listen, they're lasers. That's high tech. You know, it's very
It's a
similar to the
laser-
one I used to play with my cat in my apartment. in not space.
It was the only way to get Qui-Gon's attention. Listen, he took
They-
3
They
edibles
shot
before this
the
battle, and
laser
he's
around.
gone.
Qui-Gon's just like
I
Qui-Gon's
need
just chasing the laser around like a cat.
so I need to swap Qui-Gon Jinn and the Big Lebowski. So Lebowski's in Star Wars and Qui-Gon's in Lebowski.
I mean,
God.
yeah. I mean,
Haven't
when I
we-
was a
haven't
kid,
we
I
done this
mistook
before?
those actors as each other. I thought that was the same actor as a
You thought
kid.
Jeff Bridges was the same as
I thought Jeff Bridges in that movie. I knew who Jeff Bridges was, but I thought Jeff Bridges in that movie was Liam Neeson.
That's great. I don't judge you either, cause like the robes and everything, it's pretty spot on.
I also have trouble telling actors apart, so at least I did.
I can tell them apart.
These are my
I am-
favorite starfighters in the entire franchise. I love these fucking Naboo starfighters.
I don't
Well,
mind
you're in
them. I
luck
just hate
because
the
they're
yellow.
back.
I know they're the Mandalorian flies a really junked one.
A heavily modified one. I love it. It looks amazing.
These are better.
I hate the yellow.
The
I
yellow
had a
looks
toy
good.
of these ships when I was a kid.
Me too. I had several actually. I fucking love these ships. I think the yellow makes it pop compared to other Star Wars. That's one thing I
Yeah.
like about the prequels is it's just
pop.
they're just the fun thing about the prequels that I do think was a good design choice was everything's brighter because it's
Well,
a
that's
different
the
yellow.
interesting thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of the few things George does well. Where this movie, very, very, very bright. The next
Well,
movie,
and
still pretty bright and kind of getting a little more bleak. And then by the third one, it's just bleak and everything's darker
and
and
that
like
leads into like the OT being like
Yeah.
darker, more muted tones because fascism.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he's trying to tell a story of fascism on the rise, which, yeah. So I think it works very well, and I also like the yellow because of that. And it's definitely also nostalgia, but
my cat's trying to break my door down right now.
now there are other times where I look at the yellow and I'm just angry because I'm tired of watching these movies. But today is not that day. I have not been angry today because I'm not
They're
alone.
just flying around space bananas, you know. It's
Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, I hate the rest of this whole fucking scene. I hate it. I hate.
Not a fan of the Battle of Naboo?
Why would I be?
I'm just sitting here waiting for the Gundams to orbital drop in.
I forget who I sent that. I literally sent that video to someone recently.
Oh, jeez.
It was in our group chat.
Was it?
Yeah.
I love Maul just opening these doors ready to just fuck up this whole group of people. Like,
And then everyone but Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan just walk away.
it's like,
Lord
wait,
Maul,
no,
I swear
come
to God,
back.
if you see a small child this time around, do not try to run him over. Why
How
do you
long
care
do you
so much
think
about
Maul-
this small child?
How long do you think Maul was sitting there?
Long time. This just became the new dinner scene. I've just realized this became the new dinner scene.
They're on their way.
What
I know
happens behind that door while he waits?
He's just like doing like the. He's like hyping himself up, you know. He's like, all right,
Pew pew pew
pew pew pew. We've got to do something, R2.
Why is it so much brighter on Disney Plus?
They wanted to make it pop, just like George Lucas always.
George
He's
Lucas
totally just
sitting.
behind that door pacing.
Oh yeah, he's totally just hyping himself up like that, you know, giving himself the pep talk and everything. And
What kind of pep talk does Darth Maul give himself?
all right, Maul, you might have missed running the kid over, but you're gonna get another swing of that. Swing at this, literally.
I'm going to swing right at the small
There's
child.
like-
No, wait, Palpatine told me not to.
There's like 4 empty cans of Monster Energy in the corner.
He's doing that thing wrestlers do where they're just pouring a bottle of water on their head before they walk out.
Linkin Park playing in the background while he's waiting. He has his AirPods in.
God, how much funnier would that be if the door slides open and Maul's just got his AirPods in?
Looks like fucking Luke Cage, like he does on the Netflix show. Just like in the middle of battles listening to Wu-Tang, except Maul doesn't have that good a taste in music.
I don't know that Maul's listening to Wu-Tang.
he's never in his life.
I would love that. One of these Star Wars shows, they walk into the cantina, it's just Wu-Tang.
Oh my god, that's so good.
It's just like all like 11 of them motherfuckers, just all of them, and they're like, yeah, you're in Star Wars now, just like Jefferson Starship, you're canon.
Jefferson
Grogu
Starship
walks
and
into the-
Thundercat.
Grogu walks into a room, bring the motherfucking ruckus. Old dirty bastard lyrics dropping over fucking Luke Skywalker.
We just can't stop showing our age. Like, I know Wu-Tang's got a little bit of a revitalization, like
Not
with
to
the
this
Hoop
extent.
show and everything, but nah. Listen, I was in Target the other day, and Target had a Wu-Tang hoodie, and I was like, this just feels wrong.
Yeah, it feels like we are very old.
Oh my god.
I'm
Well,
pretty
that's
sure Ben didn't know who Wu-Tang was before he met me.
I did. I definitely got more familiar with them after I met you, but
Listen,
I knew
I heard
of their existence.
I heard a Pearl Jam song on the classic rock station the other day, and it hurt me physically.
It's like when I was working on my my denim vest that I have, all like patched up and shit. I was looking for a Dead Kennedy's back patch, and like the first result was always like, oh, get it from Walmart. And I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a punk rock patch
Yeah.
from motherfucking Walmart.
I bought a cut-off Misfits t-shirt from fucking H&M like 2 years ago, and I've never been more confused in my life.
That feels sacrilegious.
Can we talk
They
about
also had a Joy Division t-shirt. It was a very confusing shopping trip.
Can we talk about what R2D2 is probably talking about in that droid cockpit while this fucking dumbass kid is
He's cursing like a sailor.
this motherfucking kid is gonna get us both killed.
Yeah, Anakin responds,
He
I know
just
we're in
tried
trouble,
to
just hang on.
stay.
R2's like, fuck, man, what are you doing?
I also like how at the age of 9, Anakin fully understands fucking droid speak. Meanwhile, in like the Thrawn trilogy, which is post episode 6, Luke's still figuring it out.
Well, I think that goes with the technology actually got worse after the prequels thought process.
Yeah, it
Like,
wasn't as
still,
readily
Luke's been
available.
around
and,
R2 for how long at that point?
Well, I discredit the Thrawn trilogy in that respect then, because all of the canon that's come out since is like, no, yeah, Luke understands
Yeah,
R2-D2 perfectly.
in defense of Luke Skywalker, most of my friends in like middle school through high school until I moved out here all spoke very fluent Spanish, and I barely speak Spanish, so
Yeah.
I get it.
But they didn't exclusively talk to you in Spanish.
I mean, I hung out at their houses a lot, everyone else did. It was
Fair.
just me in the corner, like, hello.
That fucking jump. The only other time we see anybody jump that high is Revenge of the Sith and Rise of Skywalker, where it's just like, yeah, I can. It's the worst in Revenge of the Sith, though, where he just jumps off of it.
Can I
Like-
ask a question?
Well, no,
I might
'cause
have a I
there's
might
what?
actually have a I might have a genuinely good point to bring up right now, unless this is just a major high thought. This would have been a good use for that fucking force speed.
Yeah,
Yes, it would've.
100%.
This is the second time we've brought up good uses of force speed in this episode. The
It was
movie
literally
where it
shown in
introduces
this movie.
force speed.
Where
You
it
could have
introduces
just
it in
force
like
ran through there, Obi-Wan.
one of my ADHD-induced fantasy stories I used to write. It gets used and then immediately forgotten about.
Yeah.
No, but like we
There's
see
a lot of cheating in there. A lot of they fight.
Luke does a big jump flippy thing in episode 6.
Yeah, you're right.
Jar Jar does like a triple.
What are you
quadruple
looking at right
somersault.
now? Because I know you're looking at something.
I'm looking at you.
Oh. I thought you were looking at something that was telling you this information.
No, just
Jar Jar
down
doesn't
here
count.
He
Are we
does.
talking
How that
Jar
jump
Jar
he
is a
does.
force sensitive now?
No, I'm saying he jumps like that.
There's a great Jedi fight happening in the other scene, and now we get Jar Jar running away from energy balls.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, there's a lot of force jumping around, so I'm just wrong.
Jesus, that guy got brutally murdered while Jar Jar was riding on the back of the fucking thing.
The entire
It's like
Yoda
Saving Private
Dooku
Ryan
fight.
down here.
The entire
Yeah,
Yoda anyone fight.
The problem with this entire scene is it's just Jar Jar appears like he's failing upward, but there are so many Gungans dying because he's failing upward.
Yeah. See, I like that's the one thing the sequels did well, is like in that first part of Force Awakens, there's blood, and it's like you feel like you really feel the war crimes.
You feel the
in this.
impact of the slaughter.
Yeah, there's just Gungans getting blown away, and it's like played for laughs. It's like, no, this is like Saving Private Ryan for these Gungans right now.
You're right, it is.
Ryan doesn't want to go anywhere. Well, fuck, we're all dying for you out here, Private Jar Jar.
Gungans getting blown to bits, Jar Jar's like, I went to Gungan school with that guy over there, and there's his leg over there, and oh my god, this is horrible.
Meanwhile,
We're here
Anakin's flying a ship, spinning around, going, "Oh, we're out of control." R2's like, "I swear to God, if this is how I fucking die."
We're here for the impeachment trial of shit, the guy you're in love with.
Boss Nass.
Don't you dare.
We're here for the impeachment trial of Boss
Don't
Nass.
do this to me.
Now, Boss
Don't
Nass,
do this to my love.
you unlawfully made Jar Jar Binks a general, and many, many Gungans died.
It was a lawful appointment.
Many, many Gungans died on the field.
Ben's over here
directly
Boss
to
Nass's
him.
lawyer.
Could you please
Objection,
explain?
It was a lawful appointment.
Could you sustained? Could you please explain your thought process?
Your Honor, objection, leading the witness.
Who am I in this role play right now? Am I the prosecution then?
I don't know what you are. I didn't expect this much pushback from. I didn't expect this much pushback from Ben. Boss Nass is just like, I did it for the Vine. It was just a prank, bro.
It's Qui-Gon just dying like a bitch. Probably pissing himself in the process.
The blood trickling out of him, intertwining with the piss.
Oh.
Obi-Wan goes and says goodbye to his master, looks down at his robes. Oh no!
They go to get the body, and like that head of the Naboo militia is like, oh, he urinated himself in his death, and Obi-Wan's like, no, that was before.
That was
pre-death.
that was
That was right after we
pre-mortem.
landed.
My God. This is my favorite.
It's so stupid.
The like double decoy fucking. They get the real one. The decoy shows up. He's like, wait a minute.
This is the coldest 14-year-old on the planet. She doesn't even flinch when this is happening. She just takes 5 steps back and reaches in, just like, I got a fucking pistol now, bitch.
Yeah.
Also, like,
I
yeah,
don't know, let me go get the gun I keep in my desk.
Yeah, that's what.
Padme Amidala is a badass.
They keep 2 pistols in the chair of the 14-year-old queen's desk.
She doesn't fucking flinch at anything except an old man telling a young child, and that's because it's a war crime, is what he's committing.
I do have to say, this fight scene choreography never gets old. I know we brought it up before, but
As
It's
you've
still
said many
best
times, this
favorite
movie is just the pod race and Duel of the Fates.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
mine.
I consider this better than the fight in Revenge of the Sith, because this is more practical lightsaber fighting.
It's close. They're
Nah,
pretty
dude.
close for me.
This podcast has only reinforced to me that the Revenge of the Sith lightsaber fight is the best in the series, because it's still great to me because it's so over the top and funny now.
Yeah,
Like,
it is really over the top.
It is. But also,
Oh,
that
no,
fight
I
is just a
appreciate
lot
this.
of them making 2 different swings
Yeah.
for like half
I
an hour.
appreciate
I
this
don't
because
care.
there's real
That's fair.
swordsmanship happening here. There's real practical sword fighting occurring, and there's some flips, but
Listen, as we've
That
learned from
arc's
random
fantastic.
TikToker, the twirling things around for a long time is actual, real
Swordsmanship.
swordsmanship. But also, even if it wasn't, that's what makes that so great, because not only is that a great duel, but also it makes me laugh 10 rotations in, and that means that it's great. I'm done pretending like there's any validity to anything I love or hate. I just love or hate things based on the ridiculousness of the scenario.
Oh,
That's why I think Revenge of the Sith is the most fun movie to watch now, because it's just ridiculousness one after the other after the other.
It's just a mountain.
Now that was pod racing.
Now that was pod racing. We didn't talk about that at all. We got involved in other conversations. We talked exponentially more about the Gungan part than we did Anakin blowing up a fucking ship, a fucking command ship. God damn it. The prequels have great humor, except when they try to be funny.
They're the funniest when they're absolutely not trying. You're 100% correct.
They have that in common with the sequels. That the sequels, every time they try to make a joke, it's not funny.
Except there
But
is, I still laugh at Luke showing Rey the Force when he's got the blade of grass. That still gets
And
a
the
little
Porg
bit of a chuckle
scene.
out of me.
And the poor Chewbacca scene is also still very funny.
Nothing about Porgs makes me laugh anymore.
Because you're
I don't know, the Chewbacca scene with the Porg is great.
I'm just
That's a
I'm
great
just
thing.
like, oh, these were made to be toys.
So was everything in the prequels.
I know.
If that was my cutoff,
but
then
Jay,
I wouldn't like any. It's nostalgia, Ben. That's why you like these things more than the other.
But Jay, this is nostalgic. Porgs are.
It's the Ewoks. I mean, the
Reject
Ewoks were
nostalgia.
literally just like merch.
Reject nostalgia. Embrace ridiculousness.
Jay, I've been playing
That'd be a great
Halo
t-shirt.
for the past 13 years. I'm not allowed to reject nostalgia.
That would be a great t-shirt, though. Legitimately. Reject nostalgia, embrace chaos, you
know. Embrace ridiculousness.
Ridiculousness, yeah.
I love this scene so much because it's just that one guy that's barely in any, like, he's in scenes, but like nothing about him like stands out. And then he has one of the sickest burns in the entire movie. Just like, I think you can kiss your trade franchise goodbye. I'm like, I'm glad you were here. This was a great scene for you. I love this tiny scene. This is one of like the scenes that have grown on me, and not many do, where it's just like everybody arriving and talking shit to the Cato Nemoidians, and then Palpatine talking shit to this small child that he's gonna groom.
Weird Palpatine arm swinging, big ass smile on his face. It's fucking weird.
It's great. And I can't see the Yoda and Obi-Wan scene. I can't see this scene without seeing the behind the scenes thing, and it's just a Frank Oz walking in a trench with a Yoda puppet back and forth, like body hunched down.
I'm just picturing they actually just have a Kermit.
Replace Yoda with Kermit. Star Wars would be a better series.
So good.
Mm-hmm. I can't do a Kermit impression. I just can't. I'm not even gonna try.
Qui-Gon's Defiance.
Ben's Kermit every time.
I need to practice it.
No, it's so good.
Is it?
It makes me laugh so goddamn hard every time. There was that one episode where you just pulled it out randomly, and it might be one of the hardest I've ever laughed.
To anyone who's like not very close to me, I love doing voices. Like my roommate gets mad because I'll randomly bust out the Marge Simpson. I'll just
everyone in that funeral just like, why does the body still smell like piss? Why has the fire only made the piss smell worse?
I'll get home and I'll look over to my roommate and I'll just be like, homie! And they're like, stop. Jeez. Like, you need to not.
I love Anakin looking at Obi-Wan and going, what will happen to me now? I just picture like Obi-Wan being like, well, it's back to Tatooine for you, you know, we're selling you back.
Better movies.
What would Qui-Gon do? Okay, Anakin, listen, we're gonna enter you in another race.
The next 8 movies, because Anakin was sent back to Tatooine, is just the Obi-Wan adventures.
No, it's just the Obi-Wan adventures.
Oh god.
That Gungan just licked his lips.
Yeah, gotta keep
his
lips moist.
He did that saxophone thing that people do where it looks weird to anybody that's not a saxophone player, myself included, where you like lick the fucking tip of the saxophone before you play it to get it a little moist.
What is this energy ball? Do we ever find out, like, legitimately what this energy ball is?
I don't think we know.
It's never been explained, nor do I want it explained.
Well, that's too bad.
Don't bring up the fucking
I'm
Wikipedia
racing the clock right now.
On this week's episode of Weird Wikipedia.
Yo, the Yoda not Yoda character is another one of my Loki favorites. He's Yoda, but he's just slightly taller, and he looks like a regular person, like, but with the ears. That dude is cool because he's like a legitimate badass lightsaber duelist, like Yoda should have been.
The Globe of Peace.
Oh God!
It was a relic of the Naboo people that symbolized the many years of peace on the planet. That's literally it.
That little scene, the little look between Padme and Anakin,
gross.
It's just so weird. It's super gross.
I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to Boss Nass and the Orb of Peace, which sounds like a weird D&D like magic item.
Sounds like the title of children.
Boss Nass's Ball?
Is that even a fair question?
Oh,
I was
God.
just sitting here watching the credits. All right, Ben, how was your watch?
How was your watch? Well, we're legitimately going to do this.
This
Ben, how was your watch?
is the best watch I've had since like maybe the watch we did for the intro episode we no longer have up.
Hell yeah. Because it was a bad episode. Chris, how was your watch?
Yeah.
It was really good. This was a far more enjoyable. Usually when I take an edible and watch Star Wars, I'm just zoning out in a
was
weird
gonna say.
fugue state where I'm just,
I was gonna say we got to watch Chris go to the moon and back.
I don't know that I'd say I'm back yet. I'm just...
I usually fight very hard to pay attention, and even then I'm still failing.
Same.
It was easy this time around, and I'd like to thank you both for being here.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
I would like to thank everything that this was a good watch for the first time since probably Ben was last over to watch one with me. This and even then, it's the first time we've watched it together, and that was awesome. And I hope you all enjoyed.
Thank you to anyone who actually listened to this all the way through.
We appreciate it. Thank you for watching along, and these will always be here for you to use whenever you feel like watching the Star Wars movies. But with that being said, this has been Star Wars Every Week Forever. Thank you for hanging in with us.
Because you watch Star Wars The Phantom Menace, you may also like Star Wars Attack the Clones.
We'll deal with that next week.
Right now.
I'm hitting the play button right now.
We'll deal with that next week. Good night.
Good night.
If you enjoyed that episode, why not like and subscribe? Also, share it with a couple friends. Bring them into this hellscape that we've done to ourselves. You can catch brand new episodes every single Wednesday on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, pretty much every other platform you get your podcasts on. If you'd like to extend the suffering, you can catch us over on twitter.com at SWEWF. We post direct links to brand new episodes every week as soon as we upload them, and you can catch the occasional other dumb Star Wars take, and who wouldn't want that? Catch you guys later.